Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And one of the interviews I look forward to every week is with Matt, the mortgage guy, because he is in the weeds, in the numbers, and we just have a great conversation about real estate. And again, you need lending, you need leverage. So he is the go-to guy for residential loans. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Yeah. Whether you like mortgage or not, most people got to use it to buy a house. So
yeah. It's a heck of a lot. It's a lot harder to be Dave Ramsey and, save up, especially when inflation's eating the cash and prices are going up. It's tough to catch up. But
right. Yeah. So like me or love me, you might need me somewhere along the way.
There you go, man. Well, hey, I don't know if you saw this. I have this brand new shirt available on my site that says, "I use inflation to get rich. Ask me how." And I think this is an important topic because a lot of people are seeing inflation for the first time, right? I was born in the early 70s. So I remember the last time we had our inflation spike. I remember sitting in gas lines and, seeing my mom struggle with paying bills because there wasn't enough money left over for this inflationary period. A lot of people haven't, right? We've had 40 years of pretty benign inflation. But there are actually a small set of us, Matt, that can use inflation to get rich, while most of us, certainly more than 90%, probably more than 90%, inflation is a tax and can crush you. So I thought we should do some rough numbers for folks and just show them that, there is a way to use inflation, and it's really combining what you do with what I do.
Right. Yeah. And I totally agree. I think I heard you say it one time, like the cruelest tax.
Yeah.
Right. Because people don't even really understand what's happening.
Oh,
right?
It hurts. It hurts the bottom. And it's
right,
just
right.
So bad.
And that's what really hurts. And I'd love to, because I'm a math nerd, to explain to people how, with real estate, you get to use leverage. That's where I come in, right? I'm going to let you borrow 95, 90, 80% of this real estate asset that's going to go up in an inflationary period. So, the numbers get juiced. It's not just 5%, 10%, 15% year over year home price appreciation. You get to exponentially, use leverage, AKA mortgage loans that are at historic low rates, right?
Yeah.
Let's jump in.
Yeah. So let's just use an example. Because again, I'm trying, because again, econ guy, MBA, accountant, right? Numbers are where I'm comfortable. You're a mortgage guy. Numbers are where you're comfortable. So let's just try to step back and be the average American, right? So you have probably heard, or we need to realize that people hear inflation eats my savings, right? Money in the bank gets eaten away. So let's try to use some round numbers. I'll say 100 grand, but let's say 10 grand. It doesn't really matter. All right, let's say 100 grand for easier math. So you have 100 grand, you just leave it there and do nothing. At the end of the year, if you assumed inflation was 6%, that $100,000 is now worth, it has basically $94,000 in purchasing power, right? You have gone backwards. Is that fair?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So now what I want to do is let's assume you use that $100,000, and all of these are assumptions. Use the numbers that make sense for you. Let's assume we use that 100 grand to buy a $400,000 house. Okay. So a couple of things. One, we assume relatively safe leverage, 25% down, right? You're using 75% leverage. Assuming you have good credit, a job, all of that, relatively speaking, that's a pretty easy loan to get done. Is that fair, Matt?
Yep.
Okay. So now this could be owner occ or it could be an investment. It really doesn't matter for this example. What we are going to assume is that $400,000 home went up 6% because of inflation.
Right. This is the thing too. We're not using like the numbers we've seen, 15%,
no,
18%. We're using this home price appreciation is matching inflation, which a lot of people give a hard time. Like it doesn't really appreciate. It just matches inflation over time. And if okay, we'll give you that.
Yeah. We'll just assume. Right. Yeah. So, okay, let's do the math. So here's the thing that people need to realize. Now, do you, Matt, let's assume, right? You have a 75% LTV, which is a $300,000 loan, 100K down, you have 25% equity, all that stuff. So I'm guessing, Matt, the only thing that happens is the 6% inflation on this real estate is only on the $100,000, right?
Good news. The $400,000 home you bought, you were in at 25%. The bank lent you the 75%. It goes up to $424,000.
But I got to give the other part to the bank, right?
You just pay them their payments. Here's the beautiful part too, because some people will see that and go, "Oh, that makes sense. It went up 24,000. I was in 100. That's a 24% return. Don't forget, Mike, that at the end of a year, you owe 4,000 less.
Yeah, because you
You
had
paid
mortgage
down
paid.
principal, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that has always been a thing where principal pay down. It's like a forced savings. When rates are at 3%, that amortization schedule is a lot sexier, right?
Mhm.
If rates are 6.5%, you might pay $200 a month towards
Yeah.
principal. If rates are 3%, that might be $450 or $500. So you might be paying $5,000 or $6,000 per year down on principal from the very start. Let's call it 4,000.
Yeah.
Let's just add that and call it 28%.
Yeah.
Do you want to go up 28% or do you want to go backwards 6%? The choice is yours.
Yeah. So this is a very simple example. We've used the most conservative numbers possible because again, real estate usually goes up inflation plus, right? So kind of cost plus. Not to mention, oh, by the way, if you're doing real estate investing, what I call doing the work, you can actually find a deal. Maybe you buy a 400K house for 380, right? So you make money going in. There's just so many powerful ways that you can do this. And this is what I mean by this shirt, right? I use inflation to get rich. One of the things that we've talked about here in the last year or so is I actually I had a free and clear asset. This would drive Dave Ramsey nuts. Let's just use rough numbers. So let's assume I owned a house for $200,000 free and clear. I went out and got a 50% loan on that house. So I got $100,000. I'm now paying 4% interest on that. But oh, by the way, what if I get 10%? What if I earn 10%?
Right. Or you put that 100 down and then and 25% down puts you in a great position.
Right? Oh yeah.
And fixed rates, like mortgages are safe and steady nowadays. So you put the 100 down in an example like ours, right?
Yeah.
Where you're gaining 24. You borrowed at 4, you gain 24. The arbitrage there is easy. How people do it in real estate. And I think that like we've seen clear winners. We've seen people just crush it over the last couple of years. Somebody in California where we're at doesn't have to have a huge portfolio to have $2, $3, $4 million in real estate. In Sacramento, I just saw the year-over-year number. It's 19%. Yeah,
I mean, just think about that, right? So you got off the sidelines in 2018. You bought a rental. I mean, let's assume it was $400,000. It broke even. It didn't even cash flow. It broke even, right? And then it goes up. It went up. So let's just play it out, right? So it went up 10% and then it went up 20%. So it goes from 400 to 440, and then it goes from 440 to 488. I mean, that's
right.
Just crazy stuff. So
yeah, and so I mean that's the power of real estate, and all the naysayers, all the crash folks will be like, oh, what happens if it goes down 30-40%?
Well, good news, folks. We just got the numbers this morning. Sales are up 1.3%. Actually, I have the numbers. Instead of doing memory, let me go back and look. Oh no, 1.9%. First-time home buyers were down to 24% of the market, usually at 36%. It's really tough at the bottom. And housing market's doing just fine. And oh, by the way, what else is fine? The job market. The job market. If you go back and look at the 1970s, why did the 1970s double in real estate when interest rates went up 300 basis points? It's because wages went up 88%. That's what we are in now. We are in a wage cycle. And again, wages go up, you can afford more. So interesting times.
Yeah.
So again, do you believe that anybody can use inflation to get rich?
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna go buy some of those shirts.
There you go.
Where can I buy those shirts? Is it on? It's
onerentalatatime.com.
All right.
And then there's a little menu that says, I forget what it says, products or swag or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a couple dozen of those when I give out the book. I can give people the shirt too, because certainly dealing with tons of people who are using this to their advantage. Debt is a tool.
Yeah.
And to be used wisely.
If I can borrow at 4 and inflation is 6 and I can earn 10, I'm borrowing as much as I can. Simple.
Right. And truth be told, like everybody's different. And that's what, is so exciting about my job. Some people are just like, I don't want to go bananas, but I want a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to totally miss out, right? No matter what your style is and how conservative or how aggressive you are, or what age you're at and where you're at in, terms of building a legacy and building a portfolio, there's something for everybody. You got 6 rentals and people come to me all the time, and they're scared to death. Try it with 1.
I talk about getting to 4. Just get to 4. 1 a year, 1 every 2 years. Just get to 4. And if you want to stop. It's fine. 4 can change your life. So Matt, if somebody wanted to talk mortgages, wanted to see about a refi, get a purchase going, get pre-qualified, how do you want them to reach out?
I want them to go to greatmortgagebroker.com. I promise you'll get contacted every now and then. I mean, there's hundreds of people that are reaching out to us. Every now and then I get, an email. Hey, Matt, Brandon didn't get back to me. Can you help? I always plug those holes. We're doing our best. I get more and more of the messages, closed a deal in Baltimore. Thank you so much, Matt. So, greatmortgagebroker.com. It's not a lengthy test you got to pass. Just who you are, where you're at, what you're looking to do. We'll contact you and hopefully we can help you out. So
yeah. And again, if you are part of the one rental at a time family, Matt is the go-to guy to get started. He started California only, but we threw him so much business. He's now national,
right,
which I'm so happy about. What again is the site you want him to go to?
Greatmortgagebroker.com.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.